Hello, friends, and welcome to Expensive Coins History Channel. Today's story is not just about coins, it's about hidden value, forgotten history, and the possibility that something sitting unnoticed in your home right now could be worth more than you ever imagined. Let's begin with something simple. The British 2p coin, commonly known as the 2p, has been part of everyday life in the UK for decades. It's a coin people use for small purchases, often overlooked, often ignored. But what if I told you that not all 2p coins are equal? What if I told you that some of them carry tiny differences, subtle details, and rare characteristics that make them incredibly valuable? Now let's take a step back in time. The year is 1987. The world was different, technology was simpler, and coins were still a major part of daily transactions. Millions of 2p coins were minted that year, featuring the portrait of Queen Elizabeth on one side and the iconic Prince of Wales feathers on the reverse. At first glance, there is nothing unusual about the 1987 2p coin. It looks just like any other coin. But here's where things start to get interesting. Within that year's production, there exist extremely rare variations. Coins that were struck under unusual conditions, coins that have unique minting characteristics, and coins that collectors have been searching for across the world. Some of these coins have slight differences in lettering. Some have variations in spacing. Some have minting errors so small that only a trained eye can notice them. But those tiny details, those almost invisible differences, are exactly what turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Now imagine this. You find an old jar of coins at home. You casually go through them, not expecting anything special. And then you come across a 1987 2p coin. At that moment, it looks completely normal. But what if that exact coin is one of the rare variations collectors are desperately looking for? What if that single coin could be worth far more than its face value? Hold that thought, because we're about to reveal something that might shock you. But before that, let's move forward to another year. The year is 1991. Again, millions of 2p coins were produced. Again, they were used in everyday life, passed from hand to hand, pocket to pocket, unnoticed and unappreciated. But just like the 1987 coin, the 1991 2p coin holds secrets. Secrets that most people never discover. Because among those millions of coins, there are rare pieces, coins with unique characteristics, coins that stand out in the world of collectors. Some of these coins have unusual metal compositions. Some have striking errors. Some have details that don't match the standard design. And those differences, no matter how small, can make an enormous impact on value. Now here's the moment you've been waiting for. Right in the middle of this story, where curiosity meets reality, where imagination turns into possibility. Let's talk about value, because this is where everything changes. The 1991 British Queen Elizabeth 2p coin, under the right conditions, with the right rarity, and the right collector demand, has been valued at up to $71,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. That's $71,000 for a coin that most people wouldn't even look at twice. And it doesn't stop there. The 1987 British Queen Elizabeth 2p coin, with its rare variations and unique characteristics, has reached values as high as $89,000. Think about that for a moment. A single coin, something you might have used to buy a small item years ago, could now be worth more than a car, more than a year's salary, more than you ever expected. But here's the most important part. Not every 1987 or 1991 2p coin is worth that much. The value depends on several critical factors. Condition is everything. A coin that has been well preserved, with minimal wear, clear details, and no damage, is far more valuable than one that has been heavily used. Rarity is another key factor. Coins with unique errors, limited production variations, or unusual features are the ones collectors are willing to pay high prices for. And then there is demand. The world of coin collecting is driven by passion. Collectors are constantly searching for rare pieces, and when demand is high, prices can rise dramatically. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your coins carefully? When was the last time you looked at the details, the year, the design, the condition? Most people never do. And that's exactly why these treasures remain hidden. Because people don't know what to look for. They don't realize that something so small, so ordinary, could hold such incredible value. But now, you are different. Now, you know. and knowledge is the first step toward discovery. Imagine going through your old coins. Tonight, imagine finding a 1987 or 1991 2p coin. Imagine taking a closer look, checking the details, comparing it with known variations, and then imagine realizing that you might be holding something truly special. That moment, that realization, is what makes coin collecting so exciting. That it's not just about money, that it's about discovery, that it's about history. It's about the thrill of finding something rare, something valuable, something that others have overlooked. And this is exactly why I created Expensive Coins History Channel.to share these stories with you. To help you see value where others see nothing. To open your eyes to the hidden treasures around you. Because the truth is, these coins are out there. They are still in circulation. They are still in collections. They are still waiting to be discovered. And one of them could be closer to you than you think. Maybe in your drawer, maybe in your wallet, maybe in an old box you haven't opened in years. Don't ignore this. Don't assume that all coins are the same, because they are not. Some of them are life-changing. And if you stay curious, if you pay attention, if you take the time to look closely, you might just find one dot. And when you do, everything could change. But we're not done yet, because in the next part of this video, we're going to go even deeper. That we're going to explore exactly how to identify these rare coins. That we're going to talk about the specific signs, the details, the features that separate an ordinary coin from a valuable one dot. And we're going to uncover the secrets that most people never learn. Don't go anywhere. Stay with me. Keep watching, because the next part might reveal something that could truly change your life. And now, we continue, because what you've heard so far is only the beginning. You now know that the 1987 and 1991 British Queen Elizabeth II pence coins can reach astonishing values, $89,000 and $71,000. But the real question is, how do you actually recognize one of these rare coins? How do you separate an ordinary 2p coin from a hidden treasure? This is where most people fail, not because the information isn't available, but because they never look closely enough. Now, let's slow things down and go deeper. Imagine holding a 2p coin in your hand right now. At first glance, it looks simple, but if you want to uncover its true value, you need to train your eye to notice details that most people ignore. Start with the date. Carefully look at the year stamped on the coin. Is it 1987? Is it 1991? If yes, then you already have something worth investigating further. But don't stop there, because the year alone is not enough. Next, examine the portrait of Queen Elizabeth. Look closely at the details of the design. Is the portrait sharp and clear, or is it worn down? Coins in better condition, with crisp details, are always more valuable. Collectors call this grade. And even a small difference in grade can mean a huge difference in price. Now turn the coin over. Look at the reverse side, the Prince of Wales feathers. Pay attention to the lines, the edges, the lettering. Is everything aligned properly? Are the letters evenly spaced? Or do you notice something unusual? Sometimes, the rarest coins are the ones with mistakes. Yes, mistakes. During the minting process, errors can occur. A slight misalignment. A double strike. An unusual spacing in the text. A difference in metal tone. These small imperfections are exactly what makes certain coins extremely valuable, because they are rare, because they were never meant to happen, and because collectors love owning something unique. Now think about this for a moment. Out of millions of coins produced, only a tiny fraction will have these rare features, and out of those, even fewer will survive in good condition. That's what makes them so special. That's what drives their value so high. Now let me give you a practical approach. If you find a 1987 or 1991 2p coin, don't rush. Don't assume anything. Take your time. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Look closely at every detail. Compare it with standard versions of the coin. Ask yourself, does anything look different? Does anything stand out? If the answer is yes, then you might be onto something. And this is where things get exciting, because even a small difference can mean a big opportunity. But remember, patience is key. Many people make the mistake of getting too excited too quickly. They assume their coin is valuable without proper verification, and that can lead to disappointment. Be smart. If you believe you have found something rare, take the next step. Consult a coin expert. Visit a professional dealer. Or have your coin evaluated by a trusted grading service. These experts can confirm whether your coin is truly rare and give you an accurate estimate of its value. And if it turns out to be one of those rare variations, then you are no longer holding just a coin. You are holding an asset, a collectible, a piece of history that someone out there is willing to pay a premium for. Now let's talk about something equally important. Where do these valuable coins usually come from? Are they locked away in museums? Are they hidden in private collections? Yes, some of them are, but many are still out there in everyday life. They are in old piggy banks. They are in forgotten drawers. They are in jars filled with loose change. They are in collections passed down through generations. And sometimes they are even still in circulation. That's right. There is always a chance, however small, that a valuable coin could end up in your hands during a simple transaction. But that's what makes this so fascinating. Treasure hunting without leaving your home. Discovery without digging the ground. Opportunity hidden in plain sight. And this is exactly why you should never ignore your coins again. Every coin has a story. Every coin has a journey. And some coins have incredible value. Now let's take a moment to reflect. The 1987 2p coin, potentially worth up to $89,000. The 1991 2p coin, potentially worth up to $71,000. These are not just numbers. They represent possibility. They represent what can happen when rarity, condition, and demand come together. And they remind us of something very important. Value is not always visible. Sometimes it's hidden. Sometimes it's overlooked. Sometimes it's waiting for the right person to discover it. And that person could be you. So here's what I want you to do after watching this video. Go and check your coins. Take out your old collections. Look through your drawers. Examine every 2p coin you can find. Focus on the years 1987 and 1991. Look carefully. Be patient. Be curious. Because you never know what you might find. And if you do discover something unusual, something rare, something valuable, then remember this moment. Because this video might have been the reason you found it. This is why Expensive Coins History Channel exists. To guide you.to inform you.to open your eyes to opportunities that others miss. And if you've made it this far, I want to say something important. You are already ahead of most people, because most people would never watch till the end. Most people would never take the time to learn, but you did. And that means you are serious. You are curious. You are ready to discover. So don't stop here. Keep learning. Keep exploring. Keep searching, because the world of coins is full of surprises, and who knows, the next coin you find could be the one that changes everything. So stay alert. Stay curious. And most importantly, never underestimate the value of something small, because sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest worth.